like to talk about drug addiction and how it changes a person over time. We hear about drug addiction everywhere. You watch it in the news, you read it in your paper, you even hear about it at your local stores over rumors. Drug addiction is not a respecter of persons. It doesn't care who it takes for its next victim. When you think of a drug addict, many people may come to mind. You may think of your classmate you once attended school with. You may think of a friend that you once was close and now has went the other way. You may think of cousins, aunts, uncles, your brother. Some of you may think of your mother or your father or even a child. But what is a drug addict? By definition of the World Health Organization, drug addiction is a state of periodic and chronic intoxication detrimental to the individual and society, produced by the repeated consumption of a drug over a period of time, either natural or synthetic. The first thing I'd like to discuss with you is how drug addiction changes your physical health over time. You first start out as a leisure addict, a pill here, a pill there, and then your tolerance level builds. You need more. You have to have it constantly. This doesn't seem like a big deal. The only person it's affecting is you, but that isn't true. If you have an emergency or a medical condition that leads you to the hospital, the people that take care of you, this causes a huge problem for them. Your tolerance levels become so high it's hard to treat your pain. You don't tell them the truth about what you've taken and how much, and it can cause a reaction to the drugs that they give you and even lead to your death. According to the National Institute of Drug Abuse's article on the science and drug abuse addiction, some acute health problems that can lead you to that emergency room are irregular heartbeats, dangerously high body temperatures, potential for heart failure, and seizures. Your long-term effects from these drugs can be anxiety and depression. The depression leads me to my second point, which is your mental health changes after taking drugs for a long period. Not only do the drugs hurt your heart, but it changes your mental states. According to the article again on the science of drug abuse and addiction by the National Institute of Drug Addiction, high doses of prescription drugs leads to anxiety, hostility, paranoia, and even psychosis addiction. This isn't a very good prognosis. My third point is how your mental health is your morale changes. Your once bold black and white lines change to shades of gray. You don't care who you lie to. You don't care to steal and cheat as long as you get your next high. This makes you a nuisance to society and leads me to my third and final point. Your outlook in society changes. You were once a valuable asset to the community, but the only concern you have is your next high. The addict has a huge bank account and diminishes it just to get their pills. They start stealing from their family members. First, it's loose change lying about. Then they start stealing jewelry and things that no one would think to see. And then it gets worse. They steal their checking account. They steal their credit cards and max them out. The family pushes the addict out of the family. They choose not to have them in there to save what valuables they do have. The addict starts to steal from your neighbors, from the department stores. They become wanted by the police. This doesn't mean that this addict's a bad person. They're a sick person. They need help. But the only way that they can receive this help is if they admit that they are an addict. Their dependence on drugs has changed everything about them, and they don't even realize that they have a problem. This once viable human that was physically healthy, extremely smart, and mentally healthy, and was a wonderful, valuable asset to the community, is now very unhealthy with heart problems, anxiety. They're mentally unstable and a nuisance to society.